Good morning, all of you historical conquest fans and observers. Those that are maybe interested in the future, but those that are already interested in having fun with historical conquest. Thanks for seeing this video. I wanted to give you an update. This is an unboxing. We just received, well, it's unboxing. I already unboxed them in preparation for this. I didn't want you to have to wait for trying to get the plastic off and then open up the box. I know it builds up anticipation, but I'm going to build up anticipation already because we have 3 new expansion packs that have just come out. Actually, one came out last month. That was Ancient America. And then we have 2 that came out well, I think it arrived a day ago, yesterday. But we have the African history and we have the Age of Exploration. Now, what's really cool about these, so you get, again, these are all expansion packs. So these are really great expansion packs. You've got, that one was Ancient America. We have Age of Exploration. And we have African history. Okay, what's awesome about these are what are found in the Adventure box. That's right, the Adventure box has everything you need for a month's worth of learning about history, while inside it has decks of cards. So again, this was the Ancient American history. I want to keep on saying Mesopotamia or Mesoamerica, but this is the Ancient American history because this goes from North America all the way down to South America. This has cards like the Bering Straits. We have Quetzalcoatl. We have Invention of Concrete. We have, and this is just for Ancient America. That's right, concrete. Ocean-going canoes. We have Lady Zoke. She's very interesting, especially because her son was actually so it's Queen Consort, and then her son was actually Pakal the Great. Well, what's not written on here, sadly, I didn't put in there. I should have put it in there. Was what happened to her, and her fight for power when her son became of age. He didn't quite like that she was so power hungry, and yeah, I won't go into what happened to her, but you can actually look it up if you want, because there it is. Let's see. Then you have. Oh no! Wait a second. That's not her. That's right. That's why it's not in here. No, she is a spiritual leader. That's a different. The person I was talking about was actually a different person. Lady Zoki, you have to learn about her. But okay, so in here we have Pakal the Great. You gotta read up on his mom. It was quite interesting, the relationship that he had, and then not so much anymore. Machu Picchu. If you know this is an Incan ancestral site. This is a ancient Incan village that's up in the top of mountains. And I was trying to remember earlier today what the mountain was called. It's in Peru, but it's above the... I don't have the mountain range on here. Darn. Okay, but it's on top of a mountain, about 8,000 feet up, and we're going to be able to climb that this spring. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to actually bring it back on a YouTube video. Mesa Verde, I went there probably like 4 to 5 years ago. This is the cave dweller North American tribe. Hiawatha, different leaders from throughout American history. Tenochtitlan. Now I know I have the card of Tenochtitlan. This is the settlement of it. So this is another event. This is like how they found it and how they built it. So because it's a fascinating place. I am so excited. Except it's not there anymore. That's right. Yeah. The lake. This lake was huge. And it's been completely covered by a city in Mexico. Which city is it? Which city is it? It's a city, the lake that used to be called Lake Texcoco, and it was for the Aztecs, and it was the lake that Tenochtitlan was placed on. That's right, it was Mexico City, and it's like completely covered, 100% covered. Now, there might be irrigation to reroute water and stuff like that, and there's some park still there, but most of it is plowed under. Very sad, actually. I'm very sad that I would love to visit it. At the same time, I would not visit Mexico right now. Just not a place I would want to visit right now. We have the Age of Exploration. Age of Exploration, we have everything from the astrolabe, so new technology. We have Pope Paul III, who was the one that did the, let's see, it's called the Treaty of Tordesillas. Tordesillas was the one that basically broke up the earth for the exploration of the Spanish and the Portuguese, because they were both Catholic countries, and they were fighting over which land to explore. And so he basically said, here's a line. You don't cross this line. You don't cross this line. Sign it. It's a treaty. Do it now. Yeah, he got it done. Okay, then we have the Dutch East India Company. We have Queen Elizabeth, King Manuel, King Francis. I mean, we've got a ton of explorers in here. Henry Hudson. We have Juan Ponce de Leon, Sam Chaplin. And then we have a lot of different leaders. Charles, I already told you some of the leaders. Emperor Charles of Spain. Then we have events such as Vasco da Gama. He's the one that reached India. Oh, see, I knew it was da Gama. Earlier today, I was talking about it on the Adventure Box podcast, and I actually said that it was there was someone after him, but no, it was da Gama. Then we have Magellan circumnavigating the globe, because we already have Ferdinand Magellan. Now we have the event of him circumnavigating the globe, because it's one of the biggest things during the Age of Exploration, right there next to Columbus. Though Columbus is not in there, because it's in one of these starter decks. Treaty of Tordesillas. We have Sir Walter Raleigh. We have Lorenzo de Medici. He's a big one to learn about. And also, if you want to know about Christopher Columbus, you can't learn about Christopher Columbus without learning about Bartolome de las Casas. So he was the activist friar who hated that they were enslaving indigenous, though he didn't have much issue with them enslaving people from Africa, interesting enough. But he also rewrote the first two journals of Christopher Columbus, and then all of a sudden his journals disappeared. Where'd they go? The only copies that we have are basically what De Casas gave us, De las Casas. Okay, now this one I'm really excited about, because this is a fascinating part of history that no one really talks about in the United States, African history. Every student in America should learn about African history, because there's a lot. It's amazing history, and you never would have understood it and what the influence are of the whole world if it wasn't for the expansion pack, and we also have a curriculum coming out with it. But we have people in here from all over West Africa. Now, West Africa, interesting, I'll sum it all up. There was different cultures that were living in West Africa. Then all of a sudden, the Ghana Empire became powerful, took over the Niger River culture, actually started trading with them and then took them over. Then came, and they did not believe in slavery. They did not do mass bondage or anything like that until what happened? The Islamic traders came in and brought their slaves with them into there. Now, what also happened during that same time was that mines were found with gold. And so how do you mine gold? Back then it was slaves. Now, people that have grown up with slavery didn't see a problem with it. Now, of course, we think completely differently, but they didn't see it back then. So these are a lot of kings that were part of that, part of West Africa. But so from Ghana, then it changed over to where? To the Mali Empire. And in the Mali Empire, we already have one card that's from the Mali Empire. His name was Mansa Musa. Fascinating story. Everyone said he was so generous, but he was smart. He wasn't as generous as he was smart. And he tanked the eastern side of Africa and their whole gold market by being generous on his Hajj to Mecca, and totally collapsed the society on the eastern side of Africa, even the way all the way down to Great Zimbabwe. that that civilization completely went bye bye. It went kaput. It was gone after what he had done to the gold market. And I'm not thinking that he did that by accident. He was such a shrewd man that he didn't do that by accident. He purposely flooded the market with money in the sense of gold, and also all of a sudden inflation skyrocketed, much like what we're experiencing here, except we experienced like 10%, 9.9%. They experienced over 100%. Argentina is just recovering right now from 100% inflation. There are still countries that go through that, which means if you go out to buy a piece of bread, you might have bought it for $1, but now you're spending $100 on that loaf of bread. From $1 to $100 because your currency, or gold, during the time of Mansa Musa, was kaput. It was not worth it. Okay, so we have I don't know how we got in Africa. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm on African history. Okay. We have everything from the learning to domesticate and animals and agriculture. We have different types of writing that they had back then. Let's see. We have different events. The Neolithic Revolution, or the Neolithic era. That's when the people stopped becoming nomads and started becoming entrenched in one area. So very fascinating. Oh, have you ever heard of the Green Sahara? Now, you've probably heard of the Sahara Desert, but the question is, was the desert of the Sahara Desert actually farmland? Was it actually green? Were there plenty of animals everywhere? Plenty of water everywhere? That's what the theory is. Now, again, because no one was there, we can only go off of what we found in archaeology, which points to organic materials and things like that. And also, yeah, that's right, a green Sahara. So I'm not going to go through all these, but they are fascinating periods of time and parts of history that everyone needs to know about. Everyone needs to know about the Age of Empires, because that's how the United States was founded, or at least that's how the Americas were founded, the New World. We need to know about ancient America, because that's, if we're in America, we need to learn about what was here before us, and African history, because there is so much there. Like I was saying with slavery, transatlantic slavery probably would not have happened if the slave trade hadn't made it to the West Africa, or at least it would have been completely different. But who knows? We don't know, because we can't change history. We can only assume. We can understand, one, what they were going through, and two, what could have happened if something had changed. But these are all great expansion packs that have just come out. I'm excited to show you them. Well, I just did show them. But again, here's the adventure box. Comes out every month. And inside you have different activities. This month, we have a new activity, which I won't show you exactly what it is because it's a surprise. That's right. You can't see it. So, I mean, you saw some of it. I don't know if you could figure out what it was by moving around so much. But we have different surprises that come out every month with the box. Because one, it's a new expansion pack. But two, it's a curriculum. Like, this was last month. It's ancient American history. This month, this one's really cool. Really excited about the cover. The Age of Exploration. That's right. So the Age of Exploration, it is a large book, but we've made it easy to get through. So you're not going to be spending huge amounts of time. You might have 20 pages in a week to read, but it's not all just like textbook reading. It's not. It's broadcasts written in script. There's some vocabulary. There's activities that you can do. Multiple pages are full of activities. So yeah, these are all things that are in the Adventure Box podcast. This one will be going out tomorrow. We have some material that was just a little bit behind, but we're going to be sending that out tomorrow. And then the African one should be going out by, I think it's actually going to be either Friday, Saturday, or Monday, depending on when the book arrives. We're just waiting for the printers. I'm sorry for the wait. Next year, or actually if you start now, you won't have this issue because you'll be a month behind and you'll get everything on time as it comes. So thank you so much for patience, for all those that have already purchased and supported us in this effort. For all those that want to buy, please help us out with this effort. This year, we're going to start out with a few dozen, up to like 50 different people getting this. And if you want the expansion packs, they're in the boxes. We may have one time when we release them outside of the boxes, and then you could grab them all the ones that we already have printed, but then they won't be available until the boxes or another one time. But there's just one time this year. There may be 2 times next year, maybe 1 time. Not quite sure, but we will see. So thank you so much for joining us on this video. And I hope you enjoyed the newsletter, because I know this is going out in the newsletter. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, go to our website, www.historicalconquest.com. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Take care. Bye. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.